I am Dr. Nikita Sharma, Associate Professor, Chemistry, SPNKS Government PG College, Dausa. Today's topic is chemical properties of substance and their uses. A chemical property is any of a material's properties that becomes evident during or after a chemical reaction. That is, any quality that can be established only by changing a substance's chemical identity. Chemical properties cannot be determined just by viewing or touching the substance. The substance's internal structure must be affected greatly for its chemical properties to be investigated. When a substance goes under a chemical reaction, the properties will change drastically, resulting in chemical change. However, a catalytic property would also be a chemical property. Chemical properties can be contrasted with physical properties, which can be discerned without changing the substance structure. However, for many properties within the scope of physical chemistry and other disciplines at the boundary between chemistry and physics, the distinction may be a matter of researcher's perspective. Material properties, both physical and chemical, can be viewed, for example, secondary to the underlying reality. Several layers of supervenacy are possible. Chemical properties can be used for building chemical classifications. They can also be useful to identify an unknown substance or to separate or purify it from other substance. Material science will normally consider the chemical properties of a substance to guide its application. First, chemical property is a characteristic of a substance that may be observed when it participates in a chemical reaction. Second, example of chemical properties include flammability, toxicity, chemical stability, and heat of combustion. Chemical properties are used to establish chemical classification, which are used in label on containers and storage area. Examples of chemical properties. Examples of chemical properties of a substance can include: first is toxicity, second is reactivity, third is type of chemical bond formed. Chemical bond means ionic bond, covalent bond, hydrogen bond, coordinate bond. And fourth is coordination number. Fifth is oxidation state. Sixth is flammability. Seventh is heat of combustion. Sixth is enthalpy of formation. Seventh is chemical stability under specific condition. Eighth is acidity or basicity. And ninth is radioactivity. A chemical change must occur for a chemical property to be observed and measured. For example, iron oxidizes and becomes rust. Rusting is not a property that can be described based on analysis of the pure element. Now, the uses of chemical properties. Chemical properties are of great interest to material science. These characteristics help scientists classify samples, identify unknown materials, and purify substances. Knowing the properties helps chemists make prediction about the type of reactions to expect. Because chemical properties are not readily apparent, they are included in labels for chemical containers. Chemical properties versus physical properties. While a chemical properties is only revealed by a behavior of a substance in a chemical reaction, a physical property may be observed and measured without changing the composition of a sample. Physical properties include color, pressure, length and concentration.